Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another edition of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and the voice of the Wilmot Raceway and other area racing from now. And we've got a lot of great this afternoon, actually. So we're going to get right to it. But we're going to start off with some race had this last week at Wilmot Raceway on Saturday night. The Lift Pro powered by Gandrud Chevrolet Hefner Racing product for third time this legs was a married man. He and wife Rhonda got married 1 week earlier in the same victory lane. So that was great to have him in victory lane once again. He is the point leader for that division, and they've got just 2 point nights left in the 2024 season. The Unified Street Stock feature went to a guy that hadn't been in Wilmot's victory lane since 2000. That's right, 24 years. Rob Olson out of Lindenhurst, Illinois, picked up the feature win, and Rob's going to be one of our guests a little bit later on in the program, along with his son, Robbie. And the Unified Street Stock Season Championship is this coming Saturday night. So we'll be looking forward to talking with Rob and Robbie about the championship battle and also about Rob's first win at Wilmot in 24 years. IMCA Modified feature win for the second time this season went to Steve Miller out of Eagle, Wisconsin. Steve's in a tight point battle with Joel Crowbridge out of Union Grove, as they have 2 more nights left in point competition at Wilmot Raceway in the IMCA Modified Championship. And the champion that was decided was the 1175 Sports Complex IRA Lightning Sprints. Brian Strain Jr., our guest last week, looked like he was headed to the title. And then all of a sudden, after taking the lead about 2 laps later, he broke his clutch and just kind of coasted off the track in turn number 1 and took it into the pit area. With that, it ended up being Mark Heinert out of Waukesha winning his 5th championship. And unofficially, that was by just 3 points over Nick Petska out of Spring Grove. Mike New, actually, out of Pleasant Prairie, actually won the feature, becoming the 3rd different feature winner this season at Wilmot, and that was Mike's first feature win this year in the IRA Lightning Sprints. Finishing in 2nd in the points was Nick Petska, and 3rd in the points was Brian Strain Jr. The Lightning Sprints will be back at Wilmot for a traveling series point show on Friday night, September the 20th, part of the Fall Festival, but their Wilmot points are now concluded. Some other race results from over the weekend. Bill Baylog, a past guest here on our program, finished 3rd in the World of Outlaw main event at Huset's. That was a big dollar show, and that was a big podium finish for Bill this last weekend. And on Saturday night at the Plymouth Dirt Track in the IRA feature for the 410 sprint cars, it was Joel Myers Jr. scoring the win. Justin Erickson won his 2nd MSA 360 feature of the season. They'll be at Wilmot coming up on Friday, September the 20th, part of that fall festival. We're going to talk to Chris Klumko shortly about not only Chris's racing career, but also the fall festival coming up at Wilmot. And then on Sunday night, they were at the Hill in Sheboygan, or well, actually kind of Door County, up there in the Northwoods a little bit. Zach Rader out of Gurnee scored a clean sweep in the Wisconsin Autometer powered by Gandrud Performance wingless sprint cars, and the Wisconsin Autometer powered by Gandrud Performance Catalyst exhibits Wilmot Raceway wingless sprint car series comes back to Wilmot this coming Saturday night on September the 7th. And in the IRA feature, it was Joel Myers Jr. scoring the win once again. And at Angel Park on Sunday night, it was Kyle Stark coming from 16th to win the Badger portion of the Midget Nationals that they have up at Angel Park every Labor Day weekend. And Parker Jones closing in on that championship. He was, of course, the winner just a couple of weeks ago at Wilmot. And in the USAC portion of the program, it was Zach Weigel who finished second in the Badger portion in a different car, but he won the USAC feature. And let's see what else we've got coming up. The IRA will be at Gondik Law Speedway way up north this coming Friday night. And then on Saturday night, they'll be at Cedar Lake for the 24th Jerry Reichert Memorial. So the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars, a doubleheader this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, but it's way up north in the Northwoods. And Great Lakes Dragaway, of course, we'll be talking with John just a little bit shortly. My wife Kathy and I went out there on Sunday afternoon, beautiful afternoon. They were just doing some fun racing, and we got to see motorcycles race. We got to see some Bruce City Gassers race, a little bit of everything. So that was kind of fun. Just having a little bit of kickback time up there at Great Lakes Dragaway and saying hello to Randy and that on Sunday afternoon. So, and Great Lakes Dragaway, they'll be racing until the snow flies the end of October, 1st of November. Well, now we're going to bring in Chris Klemko. Chris Klemko is the race promoter now at the Wilmot Raceway, and he also drives a 604 Crate Wing sprint car. And Chris, welcome to the program. And I know you're a busy guy wearing a lot of things. And when you're not working on the track and doing track prep and other things, you're driving some nights two races. With us there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike. It's cutting in and out pretty good, but I can hear you for the most part.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, you're kind of a busy guy, and you do a lot of things at Wilmot. And I know, of course, coming up in about 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I guess now from this weekend, is the first fall festival. So why don't we start off there, kind of filling folks in a little bit on what's going to happen with the fall festival.
Yeah, so over the years, everybody's been bugging the fair board about doing a multi-day show at the end of the year, and this year we figured why not, let's try it and see what happens. So every night we have our main divisions, except for wingless. There was a discrepancy, and they're scheduled at other places for 2 of the nights, but with the wing 604s, modified street stocks, and bandits, they're going to have their own little points battle going on those 3 nights. And then we have wingless on Thursday nights, lightning sprints and MSA 360s on Friday. And then we'll finish it off with a 410 show on Saturday. So it's something different, something we're really excited about. A lot of people are getting involved with this to make this event happen, and we can't thank them enough. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We got something neat planned every day, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, and Chris, I know that when you're not doing promotions, you're also driving 2 cars. Some nights you are driving 2 cars. Tell the folks a little bit about your efforts in the 604 wing car, and then also in the wingless. I believe you're still leading in the points in the wingless at Wilmot going into the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I just got to thank my crew guys enough. I have a lot going on between my new title at the track, and then just my full-time job, and to be running 2 cars most nights between the winglets and the wing 604, and hats off to them. They keep everything moving for me and make sure the car's at the track ready to go every night, and I just basically jump in and go. So I can't thank them enough, and we weren't really looking at points at all this year, and then one of our crew guys said a couple weeks ago, you're leading the points, or you're close to leading, or something, how it went. Then we decided, well, we better put our game face on and try to win the championship now. So yeah, that's basically how that goes.
Well, and one thing that you are doing, and we have had a champion a few years ago, Courtney Atkinson won, I believe it was the Street Stock Championship without winning a feature. And you're leading the points without winning a feature. You've had a couple of really close second place finishes, led quite a few laps one week, and ended up in second. Now that you are up there in the points, are you worried about points, or are you just going out there running your race and doing the best you can, seeing what happens?
No, we're just doing the best we can, seeing what happens. I don't want to get in that mindset of psyching myself out, thinking I gotta try to go as hard as I can. We're just taking it one night at a time, and we end up where we end up. But we've had a really, really good race car, and everything's been working out really well with it, and I'm happy, and the guys are happy, and as long as we can keep it in one piece and finish up front, I think we're going to do pretty good. There's no celebrations going on yet. We're just taking it one night at a time, and we'll see how it goes.
Now, of course, you started racing, following in your dad's footsteps. We've talked about it before, and the first trophy that I ever presented to anybody at Wilmot Raceway, at that time it was called Kenosha County Speedway, when the late Ray Toft and his wife Joan had the track back in 1980, was to your father, Mike Klemko, and won a sportsman championship that year. And what's your earliest recollection of your dad's racing? Do you recall?
Oh, I remember. I don't know how old I was. I was probably 4 or 5 years old, but all his trophies and all that. I remember looking at them, and I think I took them all off the shelf one day, and I had them all scattered all over the floor. And he came home, and he wanted to know why I did that. I think that was the first thing I really remember about his racing stuff, was that I got a good talking to for taking all his trophies off the shelf and scattering them all over the place. But
as long as you didn't break any.
No, I don't think I broke any at that time. But no, it was good. I mean, every Saturday night from as long as I can remember, though, I was always at that racetrack, and countless nights I was told I fell asleep in the grandstands, and sitting on those old wooden boards, and it's in my blood, and it's what I love to do, and it's what I'm doing now today. I just love it.
Well, and now you've got your 2 boys of your own, and what about them? Are they starting to get those kind of those same memories now? Hanging out at the racetrack while Dad's racing, and while Aunt Natalie's she hasn't raced. I don't think she's raced at all this year, but she has raced a lot for a while, and a little bit even last year. So do they recall that?
Oh yeah, they love going out to the track. If it's a race night, or if I'm just going out to the track to work on the track at night, they'll come with. They ride around in the water truck with me. They'll ride around in the grader. They just love it. There was a night last month. The one boy, Marshall, my oldest, he's 5. He wanted to go with, and we were right in the middle of grading the track, and he didn't want to ride the grader anymore, and he got out and he just ran around the track the whole time. And, he slept really good that night, but they just love being out there. So it's a good time. It's a good family.
Any thoughts about getting them started in any kind of racing?
Oh yeah. They'll be in.
Still there, Chris? Did you hear that question?
Yep, I'm here. Are you there? Hello.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you.
Yep. Gotcha.
Sorry, I'm working today. We're building a building pad for a guy, and it's a nice sunny day. We got to get material. So, no, they're going to be racing. They want to run a big car right away, and well, they can't quite see over the dash yet. So we're going to have them in go-karts here in the near future. Cade's a little young yet. Next year, Marshall will be old enough, and we'll start them off in some go-karts somewhere and see where it goes.
All right. And I want to let you get to work there. But again, for folks that want to find out more information, particularly about the Fall Classic or the last two championship nights, of course, the Street Stock Championship this coming Saturday, the wingless, the Wing 604s, and the mods will also be on the program. And Biggie Paws is going to have a display there with some kitty cats, I'm sure, and some puppy dogs that folks can foster or adopt. And then on Saturday the 14th, championship night for all of the other divisions at Wilmot, the wingless, the Wing 604s, the mods, and the bandits. And that evening sponsored by D. Wells Automotive and Sleep in Heavenly Peace bed build going to be going on in the open class building. And folks are encouraged to bring the bedding supplies to the races that evening. That'll be donated to folks that are a little less fortunate. So a lot of things going on, but again, where folks can go for more information about Wilmot Raceway's last events or to purchase tickets even. You there, Chris? Did I lose you? I think I might have lost him. Well, I know what he would say. He'd say go to wilmotraceway.com or check the official Wilmot Raceway Facebook page. And we wish Chris well in his quest for another wingless championship. He won the title a few years ago and would like to get a second one this year. And that championship will be on Saturday, September the 14th. Always, we want to thank our folks that help to bring us to you each and every week here at the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. John Hatterline, attorney at law, Force One Performance, of course, B&L Office Furniture, American Tire and Truck Repair in both Lindenhurst and Kenosha. They supply us with our in-home studio. Great Lakes Dragaway, they do a great job up there promoting us and also give you a little bit of different type of racing. When we were out there Sunday, they were also doing RC drag racing, which was a little bit different. Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars, of course, their season is winding down too. And of course, they got that big all sprint car show that'll be coming up the last Saturday in September up at the Plymouth Dirt Track. And, of course, Wilmot Raceway, as we mentioned, this Saturday night is Street Stock Championship night for the Unified Street Stocks. The wingless, the Wing 604s, and the mods all in action. Gates will open at 5 o'clock. Adult grandstand admission this Saturday night, $20 for everyone ages 13 and over. 12 and under still admitted free. Pit passes are $30 for everybody, and the pits will open at 3 o'clock. We'll get underway with racing right around 6:45 this coming Saturday. So looking forward to that once again, of course, at the Wilmot Raceway. Also, other sponsors, our good friends, Fox Lake Harbor, the Hunt Club of Richmond. Next week, Wednesday night, 1 week from tonight, we will be at the Hunt Club of Richmond doing our program live from 6 to 7 o'clock, but beginning at about 5 o'clock until dark. Or until the cows come home. We're going to have a car show for race cars or for street cars, whatever you want to bring, motorcycles. That'll start at 5 o'clock. Again, it's just for fun, no prizes, no entry fee. They do have great food available at the Hunt Club of Richmond. It's located on Route 173 as you come into Richmond from the east side of town. It's on the north side of the road. So we hope everybody comes out and joins us 1 week from tonight, September the 11th, at the Hunt Club of Richmond. Midwest Motor Coach and Olson Transportation. We're going to be talking to Rob and Robbie in a little bit. And, of course, they help to transport the veterans for the Lake County Honor Flight. The next Honor Flight will be coming up in October, the second weekend in October. MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd, Mark and Tony Maglio and the Maglio family from Bodycraft that supplies the Wilmot Raceway M3 Custom Graphics Bodycraft pace truck for the Wilmot Raceway. Waukegan Harbor and Marina and Greentown on the Rocks. We are in the process of finalizing details for next year's BARS Let's Go Racing Motorsports Show and Custom Car Show presented by Larry Roebuck. Again, we're looking to do that next spring, and stay tuned for more information on that. We just mentioned Larry Roebuck. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Larry and his family. He lost his brother, Charles, passed away last week. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Larry Roebuck, a good friend of mine for many, many years, a great supporter of me personally and of racing in general. Helps out with Jimmy Sivia's crew a lot now on his wingless number 91. So again, thoughts and prayers go out to Larry. A few more of our sponsors and partners, Impressions Count, Randy and his crew, Chad at Weeby Waxon. Not only will they clean up your boat or your vehicle, they'll store it for you during the winter. Buddies of McHenry, Culvers of Paddock Lake, A-Main Apparel and Diecast, Garrett and the Tennyson family that helps us out and supports us as well. Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse, Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, Bob Johnson, BJ, who heads up our ambulance crew at Wilmot. He is a veteran having gone on that flight and is an ambassador and has information on that flight if you want to see him at the racetrack. 5-Star Race Car Bodies, Daniel Sanchez, Carl and Corey Schultz. They'll help you if you want to get a job in motorsports. Contact 5-Star Race Car Bodies. Nielsen Enterprises, Ted Nielsen and his crew down there in Lake Villa do a great job, whether it be a watercraft or whether it be 2 wheels, 3 wheels. They can help you out. Lake County Hose and Equipment, Bill Fusting, who still does a little bit of racing on the drag strip up there at Great Lakes Dragaway. We'll talk to John in a little bit to see if Bill's going to be racing anymore this year. I think he will at least 1 or 2 more times. RC Electronics that help to keep me in communication with folks as well. I want to mention, too, this coming Saturday, September the 7th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m., Hartnell Chevrolet on Route 75, otherwise known as 83 to those of us south of the border, 75 if you're north of the border, up there in Paddock Lake. They're going to have a customer appreciation day. And we are looking for some race cars to be on display there and have a little bit of fun. They're going to have some free food. They're going to have a band. They're going to have other different entertainment for the kids. That's 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. this Saturday at Hartnell Chevrolet. I know we're going to take the Bodycraft Wilmot Raceway M3 Custom Creations pace truck is going to be there. And we hope we have some folks join us from both Great Lakes Dragaway and Wilmot Raceway this coming Saturday. Also this Saturday, September the 7th, a past guest here on our program, Jesse McKellips, is helping a fundraiser, RBJ Memorial Golf Outing. For more information, go to the McKellips Racing Facebook page. They've got a flyer there that's got all the information, and you can help out. Even if you're not a golfer, you can go there and help out as well. And then coming up on, I believe it's September the 17th, that's a Tuesday, the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Racing Hall of Fame is going to have their golf outing up north. Dave Olson, Cody Tennyson, Steve Sinclair, and myself are a foursome. Watch out. We're not going to beat anybody, but just watch out for the flying golf balls up there at the golf outing. But again, go to the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame for information on that. And then they also have their fall car show with the young kids there as well. That'll be coming up on Saturday, September the 14th, up there at the Hall of Fame in Hartford, Wisconsin. And then, of course, the induction is the first Saturday in November. All that information, Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. Okay, we're going to now talk to John from Great Lakes Dragway. John, welcome to the program.
Hey.
And we had a nice visit up there at Great Lakes Dragway this last Sunday, part of the Labor Day. Everybody's spinning, so hopefully we're going to be in good shape. There we are. Around and around you go. Where you stop, nobody knows, and and we're both here. John, welcome to the program, and of course tonight, one of your last, I think it probably is, ladies' nights up there at Great Lakes Dragway. The women race for free, and the women get in for free to spectate. And you got the battle of the sexes going on too, but not too many nights left, I don't think.
Yeah, we're going to go through the end of September at least and see what happens. And the ladies are doing really, really well. And we're blessed with some nice weather we had here, so that's great. It's working out well. A lot of fun.
Now, I know we've talked about too that sometimes when it's cooler, it's better, more horsepower in that. Now, when Kathy and I were out there for a little while on Sunday watching the fun racing is basically what it was. Nobody was really racing for trophies or money. Well, nobody officially was racing for money. I'm not going to say there wasn't some money exchanging hands from time to time, but we got to see a little bit of everything. We got to see some regular street motorcycles. We got to see some drag motorcycles. We got to one of the Brew City Gassers was making some runs.
Yeah.
And then we saw a beautiful Cadillac going down the quarter mile. Fresh off the floor.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to see out there. It kind of surprises me sometimes what people bring out there. Some real famous cars that you don't know that are going to be out there because they're open. People want to test and they'll come out there. It's pretty neat. Good time.
And you also on Sunday had a fundraiser, and I know I got a little bit of the information from Randy's wife, Connie, and she explained that it's a fundraiser. It's a motorcycle poker run. We got there right at the tail end when most of them were finishing up leaving. But talking with Randy, he said it started out a few years back with 50 bikes or so, and this year, they estimated that there was a little over 700 that came and made a stop, and a lot of them had something to eat for a while and just kind of rested and then moved on. Do you know anything about the fundraiser, what it benefits, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I forget what that one was, but I know it keeps going on. Got bigger and bigger, and that's the kind of the great thing about that venue. You can get that many motorcycles or vehicles in there. It's one of the good places to stop. And like they say, 700, that's a pretty much a record number for them, I think, having it there. Yeah.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful day for a motorcycle ride. I mean, it was, partly cloudy. I mean, it was cool, but, it was in the 70s and a little northeast wind, but it was compared to what we had a couple of weeks ago when you didn't even want to leave the house. It was just glorious and a great day the good Lord blessed us with. But I know, I always jokingly say that, Great Lakes Dragway is going to keep racing until the snow flies. And, what is, some of the bigger events that you got coming up still this year here at Great Lakes Dragway and maybe even into the month of October?
Well, this weekend we're going to have it's an import show that's going on, Import Special. That's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. And then the following week, the 13th, which is the Friday, it's going to be Early Bird Friday, and it's going to be one of those days where the track is going to be set on kill because the 14th is another Nitro Streetcar Brawl, and that's when Wisconsin Outlaw Street goes and does their race. And that's when we bring in Total Venue Concepts to prep the track, put down a ton of glue, and the track is super, super sticky. So Friday is a little bit more expensive to test and tune. It's for drags, radials, and slicks only, and a lot of glue on the track, and then Saturday will be the big race. We'll be racing there also. Our group, Brew City Gassers, on that streetcar brawl on Saturday on the 14th, and that should be a really, really good race because that, like I say, that track, you'll walk out of your shoes if you walk out there. It's kind of funny. watching some of the people get the guys lined up and they're standing on the track and then they can't get off the track. They're trying to pull their feet off of it. And sometimes they do walk out of their shoes. Or I saw one guy leave his sole of his shoe on the track and the rest of his shoes went with him. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And some quick things for that race on the 14th. We had a guy on the last Outlaw Street race run a 4.006 at 209 miles an hour in the 8th mile. And they said the first guy to go 3.99 seconds in the 8th mile, they're going to give him $1,000. So
wow.
That should be pretty cool.
Yeah. That should be a lot of fun out there at the Great Lakes Dragway. And now also you're still going to be running 6 days a week, or do you tone it back and go to 5 before too long here?
Yeah, through the end of the month, September will be 6 days a week, and then in October, depending on, what we've done in the past, and usually like weekend type stuff. But what we've done in the past, if there's really really good days, say on the Thursday or something like that, and it's really nice. They may say, hey, we'll get the track prepped for drag radials and slicks and do some racing on that, but. Yeah, it usually goes to weekend schedules in October, but they've done it before where they say, hey, it's a really nice Thursday and it's 75 degrees out. Let's see if we got any interest, So, and we also do track rentals, sometimes we do track rentals for the day. And that's been really good this year as far as people wanting to come out and do a track rental from like 11 o'clock till 5 before the main, they're open for the day. And that works out great for people that want to do some testing.
Now, we saw Danny Sullivan and the Chicago Rush loading up when we were there on Sunday. They had performed the night before with, of course, the Jet Dragsters. And was that their last appearance of the season, or will we see them again in 2024, or are we going to have to wait to 2025 now?
They might be out we've got the Big Walker Memorial Race that's coming up on the 21st of September. I don't know if they'll be out for that one. I don't know if they're going to be out for the Streetcar Brawl on the 14th. I don't quite know exactly what their schedule is because they race at other tracks also. And I guess we'll see who they have on the schedule when we get a little bit closer here. I'll have more information probably for you next week on that one.
That'll be good. I mean, Danny's just really a nice guy. We had a nice visit with him for the 4th of July weekend. Kathy and I chatted with him for a while after the program was over that night. And it was good to see him because I remembered, and he did too, when Broadway Bob had him bring the Chicago Rush, not the one they were running, but they've still got it. He said it's just not ready to race right now, but they brought the car out to the Lakehurst Mall, and we had it at the car show, and he recalled doing that. And recalled meeting me way back when. So it was nice to have a nice visit with him and to see that car, in action again, or one of its sister cars in action. So, and I understand you had a very successful night on last Saturday night, Labor Day weekend. Wilmot, we had a really good crowd. Kind of late arriving, I must admit, but nice turnout for the Lightning Sprint Championship, which I don't know if you heard me talking about it earlier. It was just amazing. We thought the 15-year-old Brian Strain had it wrapped up. He took the lead. Less than 5 laps to go. He's leading, and all of a sudden I see him just kind of coasting off turn 1 and pulling into the pits, and I was like, where's he going?
Yeah, I was racing this Saturday against my buddy, and I felt really bad for him because he has got a fresh engine in his car. He fresh off the dyno. I think a dyno like 869 horsepower, and he made a couple of easy passes, just making sure everything was good. And on his third pass, he was in the burnout, doing the burnout, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's got a hole in the side of the oil pan, and one of the connecting rods decided to exit, which was not good. But we all run engine diapers on our cars, which are good. It contained everything on there, so there was no downtime or anything, or no hazards. But it was I felt bad for him because that was a brand new engine, and it's in pieces now, unfortunately.
How'd you do this last weekend?
I did good. My car was running pretty consistent. I run a little bit slower. The air was not quite as good as it could be, but I mean, it was a nice day out. But ran 880s, 150 some miles an hour, which is pretty good for that car in that weather. And my engine's getting a little tired too. It's ready for. We had 18 events. Got 18 events total this year, so my engine is it's going to need some piston rings and a little freshen up after this season.
Now the engine's getting tired. How's the driver doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. We're it's a long season, and I had other projects that I was going to do this summer. I got another car that I'm kind of restoring, but that one was on the back burner because I was fixing broken input shafts on transmissions and everything for the other one. But at least I was making all the races. That's the important thing. But
there you go. Well, and you probably heard me while you were waiting in the green room. Hartnell Chevrolet is going to have a little customer appreciation thing this Saturday from 11 till 2. They are looking for some cars to be on display for folks. However long they can come and stay. They're going to have free food. They're going to have a band playing. They're going to have bouncy houses and stuff for the kids. I know we've still got some of the schedule posters, even though the months are running out.
Yeah,
at Great Lakes Dragway, the kids don't care. The kids like the pictures of the cars on there and that kind of stuff. So we're going to have some of those from Great Lakes Dragway to hand out on Saturday there at Hartnell. So if you or anybody from the Brew City Gassers gets a chance, or anybody else from Great Lakes that wants to come out, like I say, just come out for a little while, grab something to eat, and then can head over to Great Lakes Dragway for the races, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll pass that along. We're going to be down in Mid-States Dragway in Havana, Illinois. So we got a road trip this week, and we'll be down there. But maybe some of the other guys out that are local there that's got their cars, maybe could bring them out. That would be good.
Yeah, because the last time we had an event there, one of your guys, and I really wish I could remember his name. He came and had a really nice looking car and displayed it. And actually, he talked about getting on the program at some point with us. So hopefully, sure. I told him to reach out to you. So
okay, yeah. So I'll ask on our group there. We'll find out who it was. Yeah.
There you go. We'll do a little detective work.
Yeah.
Well, and I understand your young man that has done such a fantastic job with your social media this year. Randy was telling me Sunday he's got his dream job. He's graduated, and he's got his dream job. He's going to work for one of those stick games. He's going to work for the Chicago Wolves professional hockey team, working in their marketing department. So, and what's the young man's name? I should remember it.
Nathan. His name, Nathan. Yeah.
Yeah, he was even out there Sunday for the fundraising. I saw him walking around.
Yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job all year. So and they're looking to replace him. Great Lakes Dragway is looking to replace him with somebody that do the social media stuff. So any of you guys out there that are really into the social media and want to be out there and taking a lot of photos and posts on Facebook and that, they're looking for somebody.
Yeah, well, and I guess I'll throw my public service announcement. Wilmot Raceway, we're looking for somebody to do the press releases on the events and on pre-events and post-event press releases. So if folks out there know somebody that might be interested in that, I mean, we've got 2 opportunities for folks to get involved in motorsports right in the local area. So hopefully we can fill them both, right, John?
Right. And it's great if you're a younger person and you want to get out there and enjoy some time at the racetrack. You could be out there every day, taking pictures and talking to the drivers and going on social media.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, and again, for information for Great Lakes Dragway, I know it's always the same, and Kent will probably throw it up there in a heartbeat, but the website, Facebook page, and the phone number, where Randy's always answering.
Yeah, Randy's definitely doing the phone work this year, and he's pretty good at it. He's getting better, I think, too. So yeah, the phone number there is 262-878-3783. You got the Great Lakes Dragway up on the screen, and social media will be on Facebook, Great Lakes Dragway their webpage or Facebook page on Facebook is they have Great Lakes Dragway page, and there's another one that's Great Lakes Dragway the first 40 years, which is pretty cool with some of the old history in that. So go on there, you'll see the updates and we'll see what happens when Nathan leaves here and see who they get to fill his shoes.
And Brew City Gassers also has a Facebook page.
Yeah,
right?
we're on. Yeah, we've got a lot of good videos on there with our guys on there. So it's pretty good. This John Corral and his wife, Barb, they do a great job of filming all of us going down the track. And mostly now that job got taken out by Barb because John is so enthused. He actually bought a car and he's racing with us now. As he's instead of filming us, he's behind the wheel, which is pretty cool.
All right. Well, that's cool. So, all righty. We're going to let you go. And again, always great to talk to you, John. And sorry we didn't get to see you race this weekend, but we'll catch you before the snow flies.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Mike. Yeah.
Take care, John. God bless. Have a good day.
You.
Bye-bye. That was John from Great Lakes Dragway. Kent, is Joe back with us yet? He must be because I see somebody spinning in. So Joe is with us. Joe,
hey.
Erdogan, welcome to the Southland. You're from the Northland, but it's great to have you on the program here. And
thanks, Mike. I knew it was a matter of time before we connect.
That's for sure.
Oh, go ahead.
Yep, that's okay. There may be a little delay because literally, I mean, I'm in Antioch, Illinois, and Joe, where are you located?
Dunbar, Wisconsin. It's about maybe an hour and 15 minutes north of Green Bay. So, I've lived up here now 4 years full time, going on a fifth, and still involved in motorsports to a certain extent with regards to announcing. A little bit yet, and still writing, of course. So,
yeah, and shoot, did you have to get a passport to move up there, or what?
No, I've got the passport. I've been to Canada once. We had to do some book interviews for the Racing in the 906 book, and there's a lot of Canadian history with that. But I still dabble a little bit. I've lived in Green Bay most of my life, and for that, I was very fortunate. So many tracks were close by, Luxembourg Speedway, 15 minutes, Seymour, 15 minutes, WIR, less than a half an hour. And 141 Speedway, I was involved with that for a lot of years, even when we converted it from asphalt to dirt after the 2009 season. So, I've been blessed, Mike, to have be behind, on the microphone at some of these great racetracks, dirt and asphalt. And, I moved up north, and now my weekly track is Eagle River Speedway. We run mostly Tuesday night shows and a shorter season, too. So, and I still dabble down south. I filled in a couple of times at Outagamie Speedway in Seymour, and even one time up in the Yoop, up at Escanaba Motor Speedway a couple of times. So, but now as the years go on, we're doing a little more writing than we do in our announcing. Then I remember a time I announced probably 80 shows one year. What's the most you've ever done in one season? Do you know? Because you've been at this a long time too.
Yeah, just a few years. As Kevin Dawson always loved to say, I didn't just fall off the racing turnip truck yesterday. But,
yeah.
I think the most. 1 year I was shooting for 100, and I think I topped out because Mother Nature decided to win a few. I think I ended up in the mid 70s, but that's when I was doing Road America, the Milwaukee Mile, in addition to Wilmot, in addition to travel and IRA shows, World of Outlaw dates for Jerry Olson, and and stuff, special stuff for Craig Hemmen. Roger Miller and I even did the indoor show at the Mecca. That they
wow,
tried to,
I do remember that. Yeah,
so a little bit of everything. Wow. But and actually the IRA is going to be up in the Northwoods this week. The bumper to bumper IRA sprint cars are going to be at Gondik Law Speedway. Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah, that's Superior. Beautiful, really good red clay on that track. I was there for an Extreme Dirt Car Series race in the early 2000s, and that's wicked fast. And I know Steve Sinclair pretty well too, as you do. And that's one of their favorite stops up there when they tow up north, and the guys like that track. The problem, Mike, is we need Mother Nature to cooperate with us. I mean, we've been hammered up this way. I imagine it wasn't much different for you guys to the south, was it, as far as dealing with Mother Nature this year?
Oh, that's for sure. We lost our USAC show this year. We lost our World of Outlaw late model show, which that was really had just tremendous interest. In talking with the Outlaw folks, they said it was the largest pre-sale they had of any event on the late model side, any track that they went to in the country. And it was a Monday night.
Right.
It was going to be on a Monday night. And, I know Wilmot and the World of Outlaws tried to come up with a agreeable date to reschedule, and it just didn't work out. But we've already got a date for 2025 on the 29th, I believe, is of July next year. It's already set on that Monday night. Well, you talk about history, Joe, and I guess maybe during the winter we're going to talk some more. I know you don't come down south too often, but you might run into something in some of your studies and your research. Next year is Wilmot's 75th, and we are in the process of putting together a book on the 75 years. I've already had one of our race fans give me some photos from the old track, because the track actually began over by the high school, the old high school, not the building that's there now. And the track was pretty much going east to west in the area where the current high school football field now runs north and south. So that's where Wilmot began. And that's where the IRA began, was Wilmot Raceway, and was at the time called Kenosha County Speedway. And it's, undergone, well, it was Kenosha County Speedway, then it became Wilmot Speedway, then it's now Wilmot Raceway. But yeah, if you happen to come across, even you mentioned Escanaba, the old MRA modifieds, they ran Escanaba, I think, once or twice. The IRA's been to Seymour. The IRA's been to Shawano. I can remember traveling around with Ray and Joan. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, they were actually at Sturgeon Bay this past weekend up in Door County, and it went over pretty well from what I've heard. Yes,
it did. I caught it on Flow Racing. Flow is. They didn't have that, Joe, when we started, and then none of this Flow Racing stuff and my race pass and stuff. I mean, you had to score by hand. You had to, you didn't, after the races were over, you had to sit there and put the results in, and the driver's name, the hometown, and type it all in. And actually, probably when you and I began, you used the actual typewriter.
Sure.
Computer was not there.
No, it's amazing to me. Like when I think of this technology, I'm way up in northern Wisconsin, and you're in northern Illinois, and we're doing this here. And to piggyback on that, when I first started writing the race results in the mid '80s in high school, was at 141 Speedway. I would type them out on a piece of paper. I would ship them first class mail to like Midwest Racing News, Checkered Flag Racing News. You get the drift. So then in 1990, I sent a fax when 141 reopened. I thought sending a fax was like magic. Okay. And then in 1998 or 99, I sent my first race results story out via email. I thought, and that was through an old school landline, and I thought that was just the coolest thing. Now it's like you said, this social media stuff and this technology, it can be a curse and a blessing at the same time. I point to examples where, my race pass is a great tool. And I featured those guys on my website, joevertigan.com, a couple of years ago after a PRI show. But when that technology takes a crap, so to speak, you still have to have scorers that know how to hand score races, set up lineups and that kind of thing. And I always think of that every time we're at the races. We had that happen once up at Eagle River. The Wi-Fi went out. Luckily, our chief scorer, Dawn Nosser, she's very, very good. And, she was able to handle it like a pro. But every track still needs somebody that's kind of old school to be able to do that. And you and I saw that from the beginning, and we've seen the changes. The newspapers aren't what they were, obviously, the actual printed edition. So we had to kind of roll with the changes with that. And, I was a correspondent for a long time with the Green Bay Press-Gazette. That was their motorsports writer, and which in Green Bay was a very big deal, because if it's not Green Bay Packers, you know what I mean? Motorsports was always on the back shelf. So I was lucky to get that in there. And then I started my own website after I saw what was happening with the newspaper industry really downsizing. So that's when joevertigan.com came about. And September 15th this year, it'll be our 4-year anniversary. And we still crank out racing news and racing history. And I promise the website visitors and advertisers that we just have fresh content 52 weeks out of the year.
Well, there you go. Well, we're gonna get you on, because we're gonna continue my podcast during the off season, and we're gonna be doing it probably once a month. But I'm gonna be doing it a little differently. I'm gonna get you on for a whole hour, sometime this winter.
Sure. Oh, we'd have a lot to talk about.
Yep, that's for sure. So, and again, joevertigan.com is where folks can go for information and probably to order your book too, I would presume.
Yep, I've got 7 books, 6 of them all in motorsports nature, and there's a lot to offer. I've got stuff from racing in the 906 on the modified scene in the 60s and 70s up to the north. Wisconsin International Racing, where the big ones run. That's a real popular one too. And we've got other books, The Bird and the Bear, chronicling 2 legends, J.J. Smith and Roger Regath. 51032 is more of a dirt late model theme with M.J. McBride, Pete Parker, who's a National Dirt Hall of Famer, and Terry Envelink. And then I have Life in the Past Lane, 2 different editions covering several different decades. So we try to cover the gamut with all the books anyways.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time this week, and we will meet in person here sometime, somewhere along the line.
Yes,
we will definitely work that out, and I will definitely have you back on again, like I say, during the quote off season, and I'm going to have you on for a whole hour. We're going to have a lot of fun.
We would. I appreciate that, Mike, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. And that was Joe Vertigan joining us from almost Canada. Well, our last guest here on the Let's Go Racing Motorsports report this week are father and son. Father goes back to a long time with me. I've known him in his racing for many, many years. And his son was, I don't even think, a twinkle in anybody's eye when his dad was starting to race. Yep. But welcome, Rob Olson and Robbie.
Thanks,
and on the screen, Rob is the guy with the gray hair. Robbie hasn't gotten gray yet.
Absolutely.
So the first thing we want to do is congratulate you, Rob. It was great to interview you in Victory Lane at Wilmot for the first time in 24 years.
Yeah, thank you. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I mean, in all fairness, it's been 24 years. But I was off for like 20 of them, so.
You don't tell people that.
I don't want to seem like I've been,
And you did have
awesome. That was so much fun the other night. I can't even tell you. It was a blast.
Well, and we talked about it too. I mean, you did have a couple of wins up at Beaver Dam and ran up there, and now, of course, Beaver Dam electing they're not going to be running on a weekly basis anymore. Their kart track is also going away, which is a shame because a lot of youngsters, that's where you start racing is with karts. Yep. And we've got several connections from Wilmot drivers, kids that race up there and that kind of thing. And Robbie did too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So now when you're out there racing, who worries about who is where? Or do you not even worry about that? Because you guys have raced against each other a lot this year. The street stocks haven't, as a mother nature, gotten to race a whole lot at Wilmot. But the nights we've been racing, you guys seem to end up next to each other like magnets.
Yeah. So like last week or the week before I actually won a heat race, and he finished second. I think that was probably an early birthday present for me.
Yeah, I definitely let him win. So,
but yeah, we pretty much just go out and race, and we end up where we end up. I feel confident racing with Robbie that we were side by side and we're not going to have issues.
Yeah.
So I trust his driving, and so we just go out and run where we run and let it. We'll see where we end up.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Now, Dad even thanked Robbie in Victory Lane for the work he does on the car. Robbie, do you keep any speed secrets just in your car and not do them to Dad's car, or is everybody fair and equal?
Fair and equal for the most part. Try to hide a little bit, but yeah. So no, it's mostly fair game at that point. So.
Now, going into this weekend is the Unified Street Stock Season Championship at Wilmot. Of course, then the Fall Festival is coming up in a couple of weeks, and we've got the street stocks are running. Looks like all 3 nights, and they're also going for a special type of a point thing, for the 3 days. But Robbie, you are still in the battle. For a title,
right?
And your thoughts going into this weekend, going into the championship night. And now, Dad, we won't say why, but Dad is not quite in the point championship battle.
Correct.
He's close. There'd have to be. The sun and moon would have to align, and half the field would have to get caught on Highway C in traffic or something.
Exactly. Pretty much sums it up.
So, but Robbie, your thoughts going into the weekend? We just had Chris Klemko on a little while ago, and we were talking about point championships and whether you worry about points. Your thoughts going into Saturday night?
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. Should be a good night. I'm just hoping to finish in one piece and finish in the top 5 and stuff. I'd like to be close to win the championship, but just go out there and race my best and have fun. So,
and
finish top 3 in points. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. So.
Well, and I know that Dad would be excited to see that too. For you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's did you ever think, Rob, when you started? When did you start racing? I should remember. I know we talked. You'd never raced Waukegan.
No, never Waukegan. I started at Wilmot in 1985, racing the old Spectator stocks, and I raced that. I raced those basically until the IMCA modifieds come around in '95.
And then now you and you've had several of your employees at Midwest Motor Coach, Olson Transportation, who have raced too.
Yep.
And some of them with a lot of success. Ed Duvall and Scott Schultes, if I got the name right.
Well, Scott was a buddy of ours. Scott would always stop by the shop, and Scott goes back to the Waukegan days, and Scott is really, really smart guy when it comes to figuring cars out and stuff like that. So he was always stopping by, helping me or adding stuff like that, getting things pointed in the right direction, So, but that was having him around was always pretty neat, And then I got Alan Hafford's dad. He works for us currently, And then I've had some other guys in the past that have raced, modifieds and stuff like that have worked for us as well, So
was that, when you did an interview, did you say, do you race?
Well, it helps,
You race, you got the job. If you don't race, well, we'll see.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Although if you don't race, then that means you can work in the shop on the days that we're all gone racing.
Pretty much. Right? Pretty much. Yeah. Somebody's got to be there.
That's right. You've got the battle coming up. Blake, Cruiser, the point leader. And then Robbie's in there. Dustin Holland's also in there in the battle. Brandon Mervis kind of was up there, and then Brandon had problems Saturday night. The hood pin popped up, and then all of a sudden the hood popped up.
Right.
Yeah. And I think Blake's pretty much got this wrapped up as long as he doesn't have any problems in the heat race or something like that. I think if he gets a top 8 or 9 finish, he will be the champion. The battle between Robbie and Dustin come down to who's going to be second, at that point.
Right.
And I haven't seen the official points yet, but my math has them, tied for second right now.
Well, it's going to be interesting to come up this weekend, and then after the points are done at Wilmont, any thoughts the rest of the season? Kind of what you're thinking about doing? Any fall specials that you're going to try to hit? You're going to try to hit the fall classic there at Wilmont and go for those points. I mean, that's something you could still win, Rob.
Really, I could win something, right? Yeah. We'll be doing the Wilmont deal. We're actually toying with the idea of maybe going to Seymour on the 15th, but we'll see.
I think it's like the 13th and 14th at Outagamie. So
that we both obviously with us being in the bus business, we kind of tough to get away during when school's getting started and all, so.
And and kind of letting you go ahead and get a plug in for that, because I'm sure you can use bus drivers. I mean, everywhere you see whether it be your company or the other companies or schools that have their own buses. They've got the bus sitting on the side of the road, with the banner on there that they're looking for bus drivers.
Yeah, we're constantly we're constantly looking for drivers. We hire year round for bus drivers.
Well, and something that you guys did too, you guys were great. You actually provided a bus for us for our family reunion. We took a trip up to Adams Friendship, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Your driver, I'm not recalling his name, but he was awesome. He was a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah.
Actually he let us see what Culver's was all about. We just we had never been to a Culver's. They didn't have one in Antioch yet. And,
no, exactly.
We stopped at the Culver's with him.
Yep,
so
exactly.
That was his idea even.
Yep. No, that's awesome.
So, but another thing that I know that you're involved in, I've even got the shirt on today, is the Lake County Honor Flight.
Yes.
You've been involved in it, I think, since the get-go.
Since the inception, yeah. That is such a privilege for us to be able to do that. I can't even tell you. It's an awesome deal, and just for us to be just a small part of that is really, again, it's our privilege to do that,
And that's their last one of this year is going to be coming up in October. I think it's the 10, 11, and 12, if I got the dates right.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I think that's be what honor flight number 26 or something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah, I was actually a guardian on 24.
There you go.
April.
Yeah.
And then they had 25 in August, and then now 26 is going in October.
Yeah.
So again, thank you and thank your company and your drivers for doing that.
Yeah.
That is special. So we're about out of time. So we've mentioned Midwest Motor Coach. Either of you need to get sponsors in, folks that help you get to the racetrack. You did a pretty good job in Victory Lane there, Rob. You can remember that.
I tried. It's been a while, but no, I got Ernie Peterson Plumbing. Ron helps us out tremendously. JR's Wrecker Services. They work for us. They do our towing when we need. Of course, Midwest Motor Coach, and then like I said the other night, we help support the Spanky Ride for brain cancer research, and they had their benefit this past weekend, which was, from what I understand, went pretty well. So.
Well, that's good to hear. Robbie, anybody that Dad didn't get that you got on your car that he doesn't have?
No, it's pretty much the same. I'd like to thank my girlfriend and all my family, and actually my girlfriend's family that supports us too. They're always in the stands week in and week out supporting us. So I'm very thankful for that. So,
well, it's always funny. Drivers will say, you know, my wife or my girlfriend, but they don't say the name. What's your girlfriend's name?
Kaylee.
Kaylee. Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's my granddaughter's. I got a granddaughter named Kaylee.
Nice.
And Rob, you didn't mention your better half's name. You better, or you're going to be sleeping on the couch or in the
Yeah,
garage.
well, you know, I'd be used to that. Yeah, no, my wife Tammy, she's been. I got to thank her because I mean, obviously, this is a big commitment. We've got 2 cars. I always say 2 cars 3 times the work. So we're working on these cars quite a bit, and so she's been very supportive and allowed us to do this. When I brought this idea up of running 2 cars, she didn't even cringe, you know, which I kind of thought. And again, you know, I gotta thank my daughters, Jenny and Kimmy, for being in the grandstands cheering all the time, and then my son-in-laws Cameron and Troy for the help that they give us at the racetrack. I mean, again, we need their help there on Saturday nights trying to get these things ready between the, you know, heat and the feature, this type of thing, you know. So they're a huge help to us at the racetrack.
And you got a couple of grandkids too that are cheering for you.
That was awesome. So afterwards, after got into the pit area, I was able to take pictures with 2 of my 4 grandkids with the trophy. It was really cool. You know, so I didn't have that 24 years ago.
No. When we first met, I don't think you had any grandkids running around.
No, I didn't have any kids at that point either.
Well, again, thanks a lot. And thanks for your support of our program here, Rob. We appreciate the support of Midwest Motor Coach and Olson Transportation. We wish you both well this coming weekend and at the Fall Classic at Wilmot coming up at the end of the month or middle of the month, I guess. Okay. And then we will definitely see you on the honor flight because the Bodycraft M3 Custom Creations Wilmot Raceway Pace Truck will be in the escort going up and coming back. And as you said the other night, if you haven't seen it, especially the comeback,
right? That is an awesome sight. That is an awesome sight to see. It is so cool. It is
when 4 state police officers for Wisconsin shut down the interstate at the south ramp from Mitchell. It's pretty impressive.
Yes, very much so.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on Saturday night. God bless. And actually, you guys can help me sign off here because you're going to say, let's go racing with me, but not just yet. Just hold on. So we thank everybody for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at the races at Wilmot this coming weekend. Until next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night, and
let's go racing. Absolutely.
Thank you.